So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good
Hello.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
So now you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss about this coal mine explosion. So we have already discussed about the mine explosions. Mine explosion. So what is an explosion? We have discussed. I have explained what is an explosion. So explosion, nothing but a sudden combustion process of great intensity. Explosion is a sudden combustion process of great intensity. It is accompanied by release of large quantities of heat energy and development of pressure, heat and pressure. In explosion, the original gas, that is your methane, and solid substance like your coal dust is converted instantaneously into gaseous products. So methane, when it comes in contact with the oxygen, explosion takes place with instantaneous large volume of gaseous products. Because of the reaction between methane and oxygen, so the gaseous products are developed with a high pressure. Therefore, an explosion is also invariably accompanied by violence on a large scale. So if there is an explosion, there will be a large scale violence hazard in the mines. So this we have discussed in your coal mine explosion. So these mine explosions are generally regarded as a serious and constant hazard in underground coal mines, particularly in underground coal mines. They are regarded as very, very serious and hazardous uh, activity. So in coal mines, explosions are caused by three reasons. We have discussed about it. Ignition of fire, which is called your fire damp explosion. Ignition of coal dust, which is called your coal dust explosion. Or a combination of these two, fire damp and coal dust combined together is called a mixed explosion. But in metal mines, this is all about coal mines. But in metal mines, explosions are due to sulfide dust, iron pyrite. In metal mines, sulfide is present. So sulfide dust is also can catch fire. So sulfide dust, which is called your iron pyrite, is responsible for fires or explosion in underground mines, in metal mines. Okay. So in India, during 1900 and 1980, there were 21 explosions. In India itself, there were 21 explosions occurred in India during the year 1900 and 1980. The worst disaster due to mine explosion took place in Dori Colliery in 1965, when 268 miners were killed. You see the gravity of this hazard. The coal mine explosion is very, very dangerous. Why? Because in one instance in Dhari Colliery in 1965, 268 miners were killed because of this coal mine explosion. That is why the subject is very, very important for the mining engineer to understand what is the mechanism of explosion. So that is the reason why we are giving much more emphasis on explosion, which is a great hazard in underground coal mines. So this methane explosion is also called your fire. Fire damp is nothing but methane plus oxygen when they come in contact with each other in the atmospheric air. So fire damp explosion takes place. So fire damp, the term fire damp refers to the natural gas mixtures emanating from the strata of coal mines. From the coal mines, this methane gas is emitted. And when the methane gas is emitted, it comes in contact with oxygen and fire damp is formed. Such gas mixtures consist chiefly of methane. So what is fire damp? It is nothing but a mixture of methane with small traces of other combustible gases like C2H6 and ethylene C2H4. So therefore, fire damp is often considered synonymous with methane. Fire damp is called your methane. The other name of methane is called your fire damp. So methane burns in air when ignited with a pale blue flame. We have seen in earlier class also, methane burns in air when ignited with a pale blue flame. But when it is mixed with the air, it can also explode in ignition. If there is an ignition source is there, then it can be exploded. So if there is an explosion, this is the reaction, chemical reaction going to take place. CH4 plus 2 times oxygen 4N2. The end products, these are the gaseous products. So whenever methane comes in contact with oxygen in the atmospheric air combined with nitrogen, nitrogen is a neutral gas, so it is not responsible, but oxygen is the main ingredient for the reaction between the methane and oxygen, and the end products are gaseous products like your carbon dioxide, nitrogen gas, and water vapors are produced after the methane is burned in the explosion. So this is the chemical reaction which takes place during fire damp explosion, during methane explosion. So there are two factors responsible for the fire damp explosion to take place. Fire damp in inflammable mixed explosive proportions, that is mixed with right amount of air, should be there. So when the explosion is going to take place, if there is right amount of air is there along with methane, so a mixture is formed, which is called your explosive mixture. So if the proportion is explosive in nature, then explosion is going to take place. A suitable igniting agent should be there. We have discussed in the previous classes in the fire triangle, in the explosion pentagon, that there should be an igniting agent, then only explosion is going to take place. So what is a inflammable mixture? The inflammable mixture is that which contains methane and air at certain proportions, and which when ignited will allow the flame to be set off, to be self-propagated throughout the mixture in all directions, independent of and away from the source of ignition. That is called an inflammable mixture. So there we have discussed also the limits of flammability, flammable limits or explosive limits. What is flammability limit? What is explosive limit? We have discussed in the previous classes. The flammable limits of methane air mixtures are the limits of concentration of methane in air between which a flame can be propagated throughout the mixtures. The boundary line mixtures with minimum and maximum concentration of methane in air, which, if ignited, will just propagate flame, are known as the lower and upper flammable or explosive limits. So therefore, the lower flammable limit is the lowest percentage of methane in air that yields an inflammable mixture, which is called your lower flammable limit. Similarly, there is an upper flammable limit is there, which is the highest percentage of methane in air that yields a similar mixture, is called the upper flammable limit. So this we have also discussed in the previous classes. So usually the lower limit of inflammability is 5%, higher limit of inflammability is 15%, 5% to 15% methane. If the methane percentage concentration is 5%, it is called lower limit of inflammability. And if it is 15%, methane percentage is 15%, It is called higher limit of inflammability. So you should remember the lower limit of inflammability, which is 33 gram per cubic meter of air. And similarly, the higher limit of inflammability is 100 gram per cubic meter of the air. If methane is there, it is called 15%. So the presence of other combustible gases like ethane, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, etc., reduces the lower flammable limit of the mixture. If along with methane, ethane is present, carbon monoxide is present, hydrogen is present, then it will reduce the lower flammable limit of the mixture. So you can calculate the lower flammable limit of mixture of gases can be determined by using this formula, which is called your Lee-Catelier relationship. 100 by L is equal to P1 by L1 plus P2 by L2 plus P3 by L3, etc. Where this P1, P2, P3 are the percentages of component gases in the mixture. So this P1, P2, P3 total should be 100. Suppose there are 3 gases are present or 4 gases are present: methane, ethane, carbon monoxide, hydrogen. In a sample of air, if these 4 gases are present, their sum should be 100. P1, P2, P3 should be 100. So suppose methane is 5%, your ethane is 10%, then your carbon monoxide is suppose 10% or 5% or 1%. Hydrogen is 50. Total, this addition should be 100. Okay, so that this is the formula used for calculating the lower flammable limit L. So, and what is this L1, L2, L3? L1, L2, they are uh, percentage lower limits. Percentage lower limits of methane, percentage lower limit of ethane, percentage lower limit of carbon monoxide, percentage lower limit of hydrogen. So if you put these values in this equation, you'll be able to calculate capital L, which is called the lower flammable limit of the gas mixture if it contains number of gases. So if you see this table, flammable limits of combustible gases, acetylene lower limit, upper limit is given. Carbon monoxide lower limit, upper limit is given. Ethane, ethylene, hydrogen, hydrogen sulfide, methane. We are interested for methane gas, methane, CH4. Methane lower limit of explosive is 5.4, upper limit of explosive 14.8. Okay. So this is the table which gives you the lower limit and the upper limit of flammability of different type of gases. So there is one diagram used for the explosion purpose, which is called your Kawart's diagram. What is a Kawart's diagram? What is a Kawart's diagram? So it shows the limits of explosibility with different percentage of fire damp and oxygen. This diagram, which is called your Kawart's diagram, shows the limits of explosibility with different percentage of fire damp and oxygen. It has got significance during sealing of a fire in a gassy mine when reopening a sealed up area. So you need this Kawart's diagram for sealing of a mine fire in a gassy mine and reopening of a sealed up area. So what is this Kawart diagram? Let us see. This diagram is called your Kawart diagram. This diagram is called your Kawart diagram. So if you draw a graph, if you draw a graph between methane and oxygen, on this side, methane percentage is there. Methane percentage 0%, 2%, 4%, 6%. 8%, 10%, 12%, 14%, 16%, 18%, 20%. This is the methane percentage. On this side, the methane percentage is given. On this axis, oxygen percentage is given. 2%, 0% oxygen, 2% oxygen, 4%, 6%, 10%, 12%, 14%, 16%, 18%, 20%, and 22%. So if you draw the graph, you'll get a triangle here. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z is the triangle, which is called your this is explosive triangle. Explosive triangle. X, Y, Z. This triangle is called the explosive triangle, and this whole diagram is called your Kawart's diagram. So if you draw this, you'll get this. This is the P point. 14 point. We have seen that the upper limit of methane gas upper limit is 14.8. Here this is 14.8 P point. This is the P point, which value is methane percentage is 14.8. Then this is the Y point. This is the Y point, and this is the X point. Okay, this is the X point, this is the Y point, this is the Z point. So this X point is 5.4. This we have the lower flammable limit of methane. We have seen it is 5.4. This is 5.4% methane, and the upper limit Z point 14.8% methane. Z point. So you are joining X and Z. This is you are getting one line X Z. Then this is the Y point. So this Y point is the percentage of oxygen. Percentage of lower limit of means if 12%, this is 12% oxygen. So if the oxygen percentage is less than 12%, there will be no explosion. So this is the triangle you are getting. X, Y, Z triangle you are getting. Okay. So this region is called the explosive region. If the percentage of methane and oxygen falls in this region, then this mixture is called an explosive mixture. But this side you see, this P and Y and X, or P, Y and Z. This you see, P, Y, Z. So this area is capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. This area, that is P, Y, and Z area, is capable of forming explosive mixtures with air, because methane is present in higher quantity here. In this area, methane quantity is high. So that is why it can form explosive mixture in contact with oxygen at a right proportion. Okay. Then you see this area. This is P, Y, X. P, Y, X. So this area is not capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. So this area is not capable. This area is not capable of forming explosive mixture, because here oxygen percentage is here. If you see, the oxygen percentage is less than 12. So this is the 12. So oxygen percentage is less than 12, and methane. If there is here, this is the methane highest percentage. Methane is 14.8, but in this region, since oxygen is not there, less than 12% oxygen, so therefore not capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. And in this area, this is the area where methane percentage is less than 5.4. This area where I am showing the cursor. So this area, the methane percentage is less than 5.4%. So that's why this area is also not capable of forming explosive mixture. So this total triangle P, Y, X, this area is not capable of forming explosive mixture with air. And this area I have told P, Y, Z, P, Y, Z. This area is capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. This area is not capable. This area is capable. This area, this triangle is explosive, highly explosive region. This triangle XYZ is highly explosive triangle because the methane percentage lies between 5.4% and 14.8%. So this is the explosive region. This is the explosive region in the Coward's diagram. So uh, above this area means XZ area, above the line, this XZ area, mixtures which cannot be produced from methane air, mixtures which cannot be produced from methane air mixture. So there are 4 regions. This is one region, this is another region, this is one region, 4 regions are there. You are able to get it. P, Y, Z is one region, P, Y, X is another region, then X, Y, Z is another region, and this X, Z, above X, Z is another region. Okay, so this total diagram is called your Coward's diagram. So in the examination, if I will ask you, draw the Coward diagram and explain the importance of Coward's diagram in methane explosion, then you will be able to draw this diagram. You will be able to draw this diagram, which is called your Coward's diagram. Okay, so this Coward's diagram explanation, you can write the explanation of the Coward's diagram in this line, like all mixtures lying within the triangular area XYZ are in themselves explosive in nature. All mixtures lying within the triangular area XYZ are in themselves explosive in nature. So this XYZ, X, Y, Z, this is the area. All mixtures lying within the triangular area XYZ are in themselves explosive. All mixtures lying to the right of PYZ contain too much of methane to explode, but they will form explosive mixture when mixed with the right amount of air. So if you see the PYZ, here methane is in excess, is there. Methane 14% above is there. Sorry. So methane percentage is very high here. Methane percentage is high. So if you need equivalent amount of oxygen, then this area, PYZ area, can be also explosive in nature, capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. This is the PYZ area. Then PYX area. All mixtures lying to the left of PYX are neither explosive nor capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. So this we have seen that PYX, this area is not capable of forming explosive mixtures with air. Okay, so that is why this is the safe area. This is the safe area. But this area, since huge amount of methane gas is there, so if oxygen comes in contact with them at right proportion, so they can form explosive mixture. Okay, and XYZ is definitely the explosive mixture. This region is explosive, highly explosive in nature. And above this YZ line, it is not capable of producing explosive mixture. So this diagram explains you about the explosibility of methane gas. So the lower limit of explosibility remains almost constant at about 5.4% for all percentage of oxygen down to about 12.5% oxygen. All percentages of oxygen down to about 12.5%. The lower limit of explosibility is 5.4. This 5.4% is the lower limit of explosibility. So if you draw a line, XY line, if we draw a vertical line, XY line, so up to 12.5% oxygen, up to 12.5% oxygen, the methane is explosive in nature. But if the oxygen level falls down, if oxygen level goes down 12, so this it is not capable of forming explosive mixture. So the higher limit of explosibility is 14.8% to about 6% with decreasing oxygen. Here, higher limit of explosivity gradually decreases from 14.8% to 6% in the diagram. So this Z is the 14.8% methane. So then gradually it goes down till the point Y is mixed, till the point Y. Then beyond that, the oxygen level drops. It becomes less than 12% oxygen. That is why this area is not capable of forming explosive mixture. Okay. So this is the area XYZ. XYZ is the triangle in which the explosive explosion is very dangerous. Or this is the area. XYZ is the area. Explosive area. The material can catch fire and explode. Explosion can take place. Okay. So that is the upper limit of higher limit of explosivity. Then no percentage of fire damp is explosive when oxygen is 12% or less. This you should remember. No percentage of fire damp is explosive when oxygen level in the air is less than 12%. If oxygen in the atmosphere is less than 12%, the fire damp explosion is not going to take place. A fire damp air mixture may become explosive when diluted with an appropriate quantity of air, which brings the new mixture within the limits of the triangle XYZ. So, what are the factors? There are certain factors are there which affect the inflammable limits. The limits of flammability are not fundamental characteristics of the gas, but depend on the experimental conditions. By the limiting percentage or limiting mixtures of flammability are influenced by presence of other combustible or inert gases, temperature, pressure, intensity of turbulence. We have discussed in the earlier classes the factors which affect the inflammable limits. Temperature is one factor, pressure is one factor, turbulence is another factor, diameter of the experimental tube, direction of flame propagation, oxygen concentration, intensity of igniting source, presence of coal dust. So these are the factors which affect the flammable limit, inflammable limits. Okay. So what is ignition temperature? We have discussed about it, about the ignition temperature. The lowest temperature to which an inflammable mixture must be raised in order to set the mixture aflame is called the ignition temperature or ignition point. What is ignition point or ignition temperature? It is the lowest temperature to which an inflammable mixture must be raised in order to set the mixture aflame. To get the fire, the lowest temperature which is necessary is called the ignition temperature or ignition point. The ignition point of methane, pure methane in oxygen, is 550 degrees centigrade. This you should remember for quiz type of questions. You should remember what is the ignition point of pure methane in oxygen. It is 550 degrees centigrade. Similarly, the ignition temperature of fire damp air mixtures usually taken as 650 degree to 750 degree. This is the thing. So it is not a definite temperature. Ignition temperature is not a definite temperature, but depends upon the nature of the source of ignition, whether flame or spark is there, shape and size of the space where ignition is going to occur, methane content, what is the percentage of methane present in the atmosphere, temperature of the surrounding air, pressure and oxygen concentration, presence of other gases like your nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, turbulence. All these factors are uh, the reason for the flammability temperature. So then what is lag on ignition? What is the lag? Lag on ignition. The fire damp air mixture does not immediately burst into flame when it has been raised to its ignition temperature. There is some lag. So immediately it is not going to explode or it is not going to catch fire. So there is some time lag is there, which is called your lag on ignition. The latter temperature must be maintained for a definite interval of time to ensure that flame will appear. The interval of time that elapses between the exposure of a methane air mixture to an igniting source and the appearance of flame is called the pre-flame period, which is also called your lag on ignition. This duration of this period is called lag on ignition. So suppose there is explosive mixture of methane and air is there in the atmosphere. Then there is ignition source is there. So the ignition source will not immediately ignite the methane gas. It will take some time. So that time period is called your lag on ignition. So during this period, the rate of heat production progressively increases and the temperature also rises. So the lag on ignition is not constant, but it varies with temperature of the igniting source, methane percentage in the gas mixture. Higher the source temperature, shorter the lag ignition. So if there is high temperature is there, then the lag ignition period will be less. For example, 6.5% methane is there. Source is 700 degrees centigrade. Lag time is 11 seconds. If methane is 1175 degrees centigrade, very high temperature, the lag period would be only 0.01 seconds. So this is the relationship between the methane percentage and the source of ignition. Then we have also discussed about what is direct blast, what is backblast. What is direct blast, what is backblast, we have already discussed. Methane explosions are characterized by two distinct phases are there. One is called direct blast, the other one is called backblast. So the direct blast and the indirect blast, this backblast is also called the indirect blast. So in direct blast, in the case of a direct blast, a pressure wave of great force and speed travels ahead of the explosion flame. But in the case of the backblast, it is caused by the vacuum. It is caused by the vacuum arising out of cooling of explosion gases. It is because of the cooling of the explosion gases and condensation of water vapor, backblast occurs. So it is of less intensity. Backblast is very, very less intensity compared to direct blast. And it travels in the opposite direction, backward direction. The backblast travels in the backward direction. That is why it is called backblast. But direct blast travels in the forward direction. Direct blast is very, very dangerous. Backblast is less dangerous. So this explosion flames. So whenever there is an explosion, you'll get the fire, you'll get the flame. So what is explosion flames? When the concentration of methane is greater than 9.5%, because we have seen that 9.5% is the optimum concentration level of methane gas. So whenever the concentration of methane is greater than 9.5%, what will happen? Two types of explosion flames may occur, the primary flame and the secondary flame. So if the percentage of methane is greater than 9.5%, two types of flames may occur. One is called your primary flame, the other one is called your secondary flame. Primary flame propagates at a greater velocity and consumes the entire available oxygen in the atmosphere. Whatever oxygen is available in the atmosphere, the primary flame consumes every part of the oxygen. But the secondary flame is produced by the burning of unburnt glass with the help of the oxygen supplied by the backglass. It propages in the opposite that of the primary flame at a lower. So that is why we have seen that the backglass is very not very dangerous because the flame travels at a lower velocity, but it travels in the opposite direction. In the case of the direct blast, the flame travels in the forward direction. But in the case of a backglass, the flame travels in the backward direction. So what is the effect of high pressure and temperature? If the pressure is very high, temperature is very high, what will happen? By suddenly compressing the gas mixture, both temperature and pressure are raised simultaneously. And it has been found possible to ignite in this way a mixture containing as little as 2% and as much as 75% of methane. We have seen that methane lower limit of methane concentration is 5%. But if you compress the methane gas and raise the temperature, it can also be explosive at 2%. At 2% of methane, there may be an explosion if there is very high pressure is there, high temperature is there. Similarly, if the methane percentage is 75% in the atmosphere also, if there is a high pressure and temperature, they can also explode. You got my point? What I explained to you means we have studied that 5% is the minimum percentage of methane responsible for explosion, methane explosion. But if the pressure, if you compress the methane gas, its temperature is going to increase, pressure is going to increase. So even at 2% of methane, they are going to explode. Even at 75% of the methane, they are going to explode. So if the pressure of gas mixture is raised, if the pressure of gas mixture is raised to 125 atmosphere, the higher limit is about 46%. If the gas pressure is raised to 125 atmosphere, then the higher limit is 46%. Methane percentage, higher limit of methane percentage is 46%. This is important because it shows that the pressure waves or hot compressed gases of an explosive may, during short firing, ignite a wide range of fire damp air mixture in breaks or cavities behind the face. Then, what is the effect of black damp on inflammability? What is the effect of black damp? So we have seen fire damp, that is methane. And what is black damp? It is carbon dioxide and excess of nitrogen mixture. It is a mixture of carbon dioxide and excess nitrogen, has very little effect in diminishing the danger of an explosion. Black dam has very little effect in diminishing the danger on explosion. For all percentage of excessive nitrogen or of ordering black dam up to 35%, the lower limit of inflammability remains unaffected, being between 5% and 6%. Higher inflammability is 14.8 when no black damp is present, and it gradually falls to about 6% as the percentage of black damp increases to 35%. The upper limit and the lower limit then coincide. Okay, when the percentage of black damp is greater than 35%, what will happen? When the percentage of black damp, your carbon dioxide and excess nitrogen percentage becomes more than 35%, the atmosphere becomes non-inflammable. There will be no flame, it is non-inflammable with any percentage of methane, even if the methane percentage is high. But if carbon dioxide nitrogen percentage is more than 35%, so the atmosphere becomes non-inflammable. No fire can catch, even if there is high percentage of methane is there. If the black damp consists solely of, if the black damp is only carbon dioxide, a condition never met with in a mine, which is never exist in the mines. You will find always carbon dioxide and nitrogen in the mine atmosphere. Only carbon dioxide is never found in the mine atmosphere. If the black damp consists solely of carbon dioxide, at least 25% of carbon dioxide will be required to render the mixture non-inflammable with any percentage of methane, which is not, only carbon dioxide is not found in the mines. So that's why this point is ruled out. So the explosion characteristics also we have discussed: explosion flame temperature, explosion pressure, flame length, velocity of propagation of flame or flame velocity. These things we have discussed in the previous class. So what is flame temperature? It is the temperature which occurs just at the moment of explosion of a flammable fire damp mixture. It depends upon the concentration of fire damp, uniformity of the mixture, then turbulence, confinement, and heat losses. It is maximum at the stoichiometric concentration and is less at the lower and upper flammable limits. The adiabatic flame temperature for a stoichiometric methane air mixture is 2200 Kelvin. This you should remember. What is the adiabatic flame temperature for a stoichiometric methane air mixture? In the quiz, you may be asked this question. So that is why you should remember it is 2200 degree Kelvin. Okay. Then what is explosion pressure? It depends upon the flame temperature and confinement area. The maximum explosion pressure of a methane air mixture is 760, means at atmosphere pressure 760 milligram mercury at 20 degrees centigrade. This is a standard pressure and temperature. So the maximum explosion pressure of a methane air mixture when ignited in a closed vessel is 7.2 bar. 7.2 bar. This also you should remember. The maximum explosion pressure of a methane air mixture is 7.2 bar at 760 at an atmospheric pressure of 760 milligram mercury, 20 degree temperature. The maximum explosion pressure of methane air mixture will be 7.2%, 7.2 bar when ignited in a closed vessel. In mine workings, explosion pressure is much higher than this. But in mine workings, explosion pressure is much higher than this because it is more than 7.2 bar, because the shock wave traveling ahead of explosion flame compresses any fire damp accumulation encountered on its way to a press greater than 1 bar. Upon ignition of such an accumulation, the resulting explosion pressure will be much greater than 7 bar. It is more than 7 bar. Therefore, severe damage due to explosions does not occur at the seat of explosion, but away from it. Then what is flame length? Length of the flame, flame length. Experiments in the United States Bureau of Mines experimental coal mine showed that the length of flame increases as the gas concentration in a gas zone increases. As the gas concentration increases, methane gas concentration increases, the length of the flame is also increases. It increases from the lower limit of flammability to about 12%, after which it decreases. Length of flame is directly proportional to volume of the zone, concentration of fire damp in the mixture. For a given roadway cross section, the total flame length is 4.5 times the length of the gas zone for 9.5% mixture and 5 times the length of 12% mixture. Then what is velocity of propagation of flame or flame velocity? What is flame velocity? It depends upon the following factors. It depends upon the following factors. Methane content of the mine air. Velocity of flame propagation increases with increasing fire damp content from the lower flammable limits to upwards. After reaching the maximum value at the optimum concentration, the velocity decreases. Then what are the conditions of gas mixture, whether at rest or in motion? For experiments, it was found that maximum velocity of propagation is not greater than 0.6 meter per second. From experiment, it was found that maximum velocity of propagation is not greater than 0.6 meter per second. The velocity of propagation is less than 0.6 meter per second. On the other hand, when the gas mixture is in motion, the velocity may quickly increase to few hundreds of meters per second. Then your point of ignition. The location of the point of ignition within the body of a gas mixture markedly affects the velocity of propagation. If ignition takes place at the close end of a roadway filled with gas mixture, the speed of propagation and severity of explosion are greater than when ignition takes place at the out-by end of the roadway. When ignited at the out-by end, rapid burning rather than explosion develops. So then what is the length of gas zone? Experiments in gas zones in the United States Bureau of Mines experimental coal mine showed that velocity of flame propagation increases from 0 at the point of ignition to a maximum at a distance of about twice that of the original length of the gas body. The maximum velocity for the 7.5 meter zone is about 99 meter per second, and that for 15 meter zone is 533 meter per second. So the presence of obstacles in the path or change in area of roadway cross section. Obstacles cause turbulence of the air and greatly increase the speed of the flame speed. Okay. So presence of objects like your props, wooden props, steel props, tops, mine tops, doors, ventilation doors, bratis clothes decreases its area of cross section and the velocity of propagation rises to a few hundreds of meters per second. So in the next class, on Tuesday, next class is on Tuesday, we are going to discuss about causes of fire damp explosion in mines. In the next class, which will be held on Tuesday 3:15 p.m. 3:15 p.m. we are going to discuss about the causes of fire damp explosions in your coal mines. So this is all about today's class. Yesterday, I couldn't, because of some technical problem or connectivity problem, I could not effectively took the class. That is why I have given you the assignment and I have given you some quizzes. You complete the quizzes because this is your continuous evaluation of your class. Continuously, you will be evaluated. So you should attend all the quizzes. You should attend. You should submit your assignment. Assignment number 2 about the rock burst. You can now submit your assignment in the Microsoft Team itself, or if you like, also you can submit offline through my mail. But better submit in the Microsoft Team because marks will be awarded there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Hello. Hello.
Thank you,
Hello.
sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.